Shooting this video right here. This is just an example of what I was talking about. This car, my wife was talking to someone at work, and because this person had a wiretap, she was able to listen in on the conversation. And this is a threat, right? But my wife didn't tell the person about no car coming around the house. She just ignored it. Well, by that point, she was off the phone with the person anyway, but the person just sending it down just harassed my wife, letting her know, hey, I know you was on the phone just recently talking to someone at work. But if we don't get that thing while we're on the phone with someone, that's why the whole point is that's why I'm telling you about the danger of having an illegal warrant or order that you can go do eavesdrop, that you can go and eavesdrop on our phones, because it's used illegally, criminally. If we don't get, this was a year ago, as you see, if we don't get a car riding by, if we don't get threatened to some type of extortion plot, or either it's used as extortion plot, is used for, let me tell you what it's used for: extortion, blackmail, and threats, right? That tool is allowing this person to commit extortion, blackmail, and threats. Extortion, let me give you an example. We contact a contractor to come out to our house. The person gets with the contractor, call because they own our phone, tell them a bunch of crap about what's going on, but it's not. But the person knows there's nothing they're doing that's valid. Well, boost up the number. Instead of being 4,000, charge 6,000, and you and I split the other two. So that's extortion. So it's been used as an extortion kit, right? To milk the if they call anyone, we're gonna milk that have you milk that price so we can get paid, right? If you go sell a property, see, can you tell them that the property is not only worth this much? We're gonna take that property, we're gonna screw them over. It's an extortion tool. It's a threat tool, and I'm gonna demonstrate all this to you. So you see this here. Like I told you, my wife's aunt was on the phone talking to her one time, crying and screaming. My wife can go back and pull the actual time she was talking to her aunt at the time, and we can pull the time the car was around the house. We can go back and get that. That's what today's technology. You can do this, right? I can show exactly the time my wife was on the phone with her aunt, and I can show exactly the car was riding by that day. And there's a car that's riding by, and my wife aunt is screaming and bawling and crying on the phone, scared, terrorized. That's because she's been notified by this person. And this person, and my wife aunt also know that this lady have a wiretap on our phone, and we've been in surveillance. So, but here's the clever part. When my wife tells her aunt that there's a car out there in front of our house while she's talking to her, my wife is actually doing the work for this maniac, because she's reminding her that we have their house surveillance and cars coming around and threatening them, and it's the same for you. And in reality, that's what she's saying. But she used my wife, it's very clever, to pass a message to her. You see? And here's the thing. This person here is an attorney that's doing this. That's been hired to do this, to be this stalker. But now we passed this document right here over to the attorney to write a brief for us years ago. So this was a fraud done to us. It's similar to what's going on now. What this is a scheme. You see, they're talking about a word version for a draft. The draft is going to be several letters asking for different information for you to provide. But you're thinking you're providing to the Department of Insurance. These two people have got together, and one of them have admitted in a deposition of the scheme involving the attorney for this large insurance company. This draft you see here, we didn't never supposed to get this. We don't supposed to know that this was happening, right? But they turn it over to us. by mistake. Okay? And so that's how we end up getting it. But this is a scheme. Again, an employee admitted to it in deposition. We have the transcript. This is real. They admitted what they were doing was a total scheme with the attorney. So this attorney, long story short, we had an engineer. The engineer they presented was unlicensed. So they needed an engineer, and they also needed to frame us. This is when the framing began, right? This back in, what's that date there? 2009. You see, that was back in 2009, right? You see, that was back in 2009, right? That's when a tree hit our property. So this scheme started back in 2009, and it's still happening today, 2022. Okay, so what this is this attorney used these two employees to run a scheme on us and make us believe that we was actually they was going to do all these things. They was going to introduce a third engineer who's going to be brought in by the Department of Insurance, and they're going to get this matter straightened out, and we're going to find out what's going on. And in the letter, they're going to come to our house along with, this is a requirement of what the attorney wants. But then they want to come and see our house themselves so he can figure out what he needs to do. They want you to, anyone that's been around your property, neighbors, people who cut the tree, we want all their numbers, we want all their phone numbers, we want pictures of the property, we want all this and we want all that. And we're going to come to the house, we're going to video record your house. We're going to video record it when we come. And we're going to bring the insurance supervisor, we're going to bring the attorney, we're going to bring a contractor that works for the insurance company, and myself and the other person, the two employees for the Department of Insurance, will be there also. Oh, and there will be and the contractor that you brought along, that one of the guys that said there would be a contractor for you, because we had a couple of them. You can invite him. We was, man, a sheer pure scheme was ran in our house. It was a total con game. We was being con all the way. And we finally come to the conclusion that they never had the right to do such a thing. But what the attorney did was gain everything he needed. He gained everything he needed. Instead of going through a discovery process, he basically stole the information by coming to our house with a scheme, right, with these people. And we turned that over to this attorney, who's now went, and now she's undercover and pretend to be a investigator. So you know how she have became. So like I said, you get threats. If you don't get a physical threat, you get a scheme. Here's a scheme right here. This person here, I get a call from a friend that's telling me I hear her voice on the phone. Again, I can go back and I can, that date when I received that, I can go back and I can pull the record. It'll show that I was called by this friend. And when the conversation was over the phone was, this person's house had flooded and they're gonna need some assistance. Okay, long story short, then later on I get, that's a phone call. Later on I get this text, here's my address and such. Okay. I received this, and then I got another thing with the person's address and where they live at and all that, right? So, but this is actually not this person. This is not the person whose house is flooded, who's actually sent this to me. This is the attorney that we know. They're involved in trying to frame me. This is her job now, to frame us. I go and do the estimate. Long story short, I don't get to work because when I start asking, I'm asking too many questions. I want to know, I'm telling the person, I have to be able to talk to the insurance adjuster. And the person, well, I can talk to him. No, you can't. Well, I talked to him, I asked him some questions for you on your, you can't do that. I have to talk to them. I can't go forward with this job without being able to talk to the insurance adjuster. I need to get their number, and not just you tell me what they said. I need to talk to them. It don't work the way you're trying to do this. Why are you doing this? So forget it. I don't do the work, right? Something shady about this whole thing, right? I'm telling a friend of mine who's a contractor. He's a HVAC contractor. I gave him plenty of work, plenty of jobs that I've done that require AC unit being installed or repaired or whatever. Of course, I turn him on to the work, right? And I'm telling him, hey man, some funny stuff going on lately. I've been dealing with customers that's acting weird, and I believe I'm being framed. And I believe I'm being framed because I believe this insurance company is still out here bothering me. I told you about it years ago, and I believe they're back out here what bothered me. I'm receiving all these crazy texts and stuff about my business, and people are poking fun at me. Some strange person is out here doing all this stuff. I'm receiving this stuff day and night, right? And as soon as I get off the phone with him, here we go. Now, instead of being a physical harm, now it's a blackmail threat. But you cut the pipe. But you cut the homeowner's pipe and left. Why would you do that? But now, let me tell you about that. When I went to the lady's house, the one I was just talking about, when I did get over there, she showed me the bathroom where she said the flood was at. She gave me the story how she was gone for the whole weekend. She said when she came back home, she was gone somewhere over the weekend. When she came back home, the water was running everywhere, all down the driveway, all down the entire house was flooded. The entire house was flooded. And someone had to, I guess she had to get somebody to cut the water off from the meter. Okay. But while she was telling me that, she showed me where it started at. That was in the bathroom. What I witnessed, what I saw, she told me the pipe burst. But what I saw was a pipe that appeared, it was clean. Meaning it was a clean cut. It was a straight cut. It didn't look like a burst to me. It looked like a cut. But that's not my business. I don't know what happened. And I'm not an investigator. I'm not here to investigate. I'm just a contractor. I'm not here to investigate her, but I know what my eyes see. Because I know what pipes look like when they burst and when they've been cut, right? So, but it's none of my business. I'm just here to do what I'm here to do, an estimate. But I'm already feeling shaky because when I see that, it lets me know something's going on, right? And now I'm putting two and two together. Now you won't, when I try to talk to the adjuster, you won't give me that information. But now this is a month after the insurance adjusters have been all out to the house and gave this person an estimate and everything. And they even had a contractor that was gonna do the work, and she gave me the estimate. I was able to look at their estimate and compare what I would charge, and that's how I came up with my estimate, because I'm basing it on the same stuff they're gonna do is what I have to do. So you got a contractor who's gonna work on your house. Whatever happened with them, I don't know. She didn't tell me either, right? I don't know what happened. As far as I know, it's the same thing, right? They experienced the same issue. As far as I don't know what happened. But it didn't work out with them. This is a month later, now you're calling me. And I don't know you this month, I'm just now meeting you. And then I receive, like I said, because I'm complaining about it, I'm talking to a friend, I'm talking about this specific work. I'm just using this as an example. This is the message I get. This is how that tool is being used. It's being used where you can either blackmail someone, make a physical threat to someone, or just harassment, right? But you cut the homeowner's pipe and left. Why would you do that? But you see the message. Hello, my name is such referred you to me. My house flooded, and I'm seeking to have some work done. So clearly, when I went there, the house had already flooded, the pipe had already been cut. Now the person is telling me that the pipe, instead of it being burst, it's been cut. This person is telling me that it's been cut. They're admitting that the pipe been cut, not burst. Because now they're going to blame me on something that already took place. So, but because it couldn't work, you know why? Because I asked too many questions of the needing to talk to the adjuster, but the scheme they couldn't get me in the job. But now you're telling me that I sent you here to frame you on this job. This is a job, this is my work. But I'm going to still blackmail you anyway. I'm going to use this tool I got to blackmail you. Okay. Then you see here, I got another neighbor. I'm talking to him because my other neighbor have told me this person's name. That's how I know it's his attorney. He told me the person contacted him, telling him that he needs to get some information on my company, and he's telling me that he told them that there's nothing to give, but the person telling him, you better clear your name or else, basically. Threatening him, right? And he said, it's nothing for me to tell you, I don't know what you want, I don't know what you're looking for. And, you know. But they're demanding that he tell them something, right? Now, I'm being listened to eavesdrop while he's telling me that, and then all of a sudden, I asked him, I had the mind to ask him, hey, look, can I record this conversation? Yes, you can. I don't care. It's cool with me. I record the conversation. And he's telling me all this stuff. But I don't know I'm being eavesdropped on, right? But the person knows, oh shit, he done got a tape recording of a person now. Now he got an actual true witness against me. I done gave this person my name and everything. I gave this person my real name. I done gave this person my real name. Not the agent name. I done messed up and gave him my real name. And he done now it's legal because he done asked him, can he record him? So he can present this. So guess what happened that same night? I'm talking to my next door neighbor that's here now, and I'm telling him about what's going on. And I'm telling him what my neighbor just told me. I'm asking him, have you heard from this person? He told me, no, I haven't heard anything, but I got some back issues and, I'm trying to have surgery and I ain't been really paying attention to much of what's going on, but I've been seeing some suspicious stuff around here, but I ain't paid much attention to it. What do you think has happened? And I'm telling him about what happened years ago, and I'm thinking this is what's going on now. And we hang up. We done talking. We're done talking. We've been texting, not hang up, we're texting. And that's it. The conversation's over. At least I thought so. And bam, high caps. Now, because they heard the conversation with him, now they're mad because what happened earlier with my other neighbor, I done got a voice recording, permission to record him while we're talking. And he done told me this person's name and everything. Now, this person is making a threat to me, talking about they're a special agent, work for the government. And I'm like, oh, it sounds like you want to talk, because I'm like, it's in the middle of the night. All of a sudden, I thought we was done with our conversation. But this is coming from, appears to be my neighbor, but it's his phone that's being spoofed. Now this person told me I'm going to listen and trusted by our government to kill, and did as I was directed. So in other words, now, guess what? Here's the problem. My neighbor, that's where this message is coming from, his property, right after this, was used as a shooting range, and my property was shot at. So now you're gonna make a threat from his phone number, and now you're gonna carry it through and shoot at my property. See that tool that's being used? Because you can listen in on my conversation. When you don't like what I say, either I'm being blackmailed, I'm being threatened with physical harm, or it's used to threaten other people that we know. When we say, hey, look, there's cars out here, while I'm talking to you on the phone, that the person have already been notified by this person that we're tapping their phones. It's a very elaborate scheme. But you see, this tool is used to do crime. It's like a game. It's like a game. It's like a game. If you've been approached, you have to go to the authorities. You have no other choice. You see what you're involved in. And I done told you this person is not real. So it's no doubt about it. This person's not real. that the least you need to go to the authorities to find out, right? Right? You need to go to the authorities to find out is this person real or not, right?